deep learning. What are the objectives of deep learning? To learn the concept of deep learning and its importance. To understand the techniques of deep learnings. So define what is the deep learning. Deep learning, also known as the deep neural networks or neural learning. It is a form of artificial intelligence that seeks to replicate the working of the human brains. It is a form of machine learning with the functions that operate in the non-linear decision-making process. So feed-forward neural network. So feed-forward neural networks are artificial neural networks, whether the connections between the units do not form the cycle. The feed-forward neural network were the first type of artificial neural network invented and is similar than the counterpart and the recent natural networks. There are the feed forward, one is called as the to information only travels forward in the network. Feed forward neural networks are primarily used for the supervised learning in case of the data to be learned in the neither the sequential or nor in the time dependent. So the feed forward neural network compute the function is called f on fixed size of input xy xx such as the f of x approximately y of x is equal to y. It is the pairs of xy comma xy. So this is the layers of neural network, the artificial neurons and the basic units of the neural network. A schematic diagram of the neuron is given. See that this is the formula to use the neural network based on the input function. So x and y is the input function and weights are the w. So and the bias is b. So in this way, then we have to calculate the f value. So weighted of the sum of the input it is given. Then based on the input, we can use this formula to find the layers. So optimization. So in the deep learning, we have the concept of loss. So which tell us the how the poorly the model informing at the current instant. So we need to use this that train our network such as the performance better. So in this deep learning method, we can use to take the loss and try to minimize the value, and a lower and a loss means or modeling the perform better. The process of minimizing and maximizing to the using the mathematical expression. So that is the we can find the minimum value and we can find the maximum value. Both the value it is determined to fetch the mathematical expressions and find out the optimization techniques. So in this deep learning, there are the several techniques are used for optimization. One is gradient descent and stochastic gradient descent and mini batch stochastic gradient descent and net serve accelerated gradient, adaptive gradient and ADA delta and RMS prop and ADAP. So these are the main types of optimization techniques are used for the deep learning methods. Gradient descent. Gradient descent is the optimizer that directly use the derivatives of the loss functions and learning to rate to reduce the loss and achieve the particular minimum and maximum values. This approach is also adopted the backpropagation in the neural network where the updated parameters are shared between the different layers depending upon the minimum loss of achieved. So next one is the stochastic gradient. The stochastic gradient method, it is called the GD method. So it is find the parameters and uploaded. So in this method, this training sample, the loss of function is tested and the model is updated. The frequent update result is converting to the minimum is less time. So the cost of increased variance that can make the model overshoot the required positions. So mini batch gradient descent, it is called as the GD. The model parameters is updated and small batch sizes. So in this one, the n batches, the model parameter will be updated and this ensures that the model is proceeding towards the minimum in the fewer steps without getting the derail of n. Next one, momentum-based gradient. The momentum-based gradient is the first order derivative of the loss of functions V or back propagations of the gradient. The frequency of update can be after the every iterations, a batch, and the last. So it is considered how many update we have the parameters. Nesto accelerated gradient, it is called the NAG. The momentum based gave the boost. The currently used the optimized by converging the minimum at the earliest. But it introduced the new problem. It make the method takes the lot of U-turns and oscillates the minimum value adding to the total time. The time taken is still way to the normal GD. This is the issues is need the fix under the then at the grad till we are now only focusing of how the model parameters is affecting the training. So this is the method is assign the constant value throughout the training. Such the important hyperparameter is learning rate and find out to change the pace of training. So RMP Pro, it is the improvement of the God optimizer. This aims to reduce the aggressiveness of the learning rate by taking the exponential of average instead of the cumulative sum of squared gradients. ADAM. Adaptive moment estimation combinations of the power of RMS Pro and moment-based GD. It is ADAM optimizer, the power of momentum GD to hold the history of the update and the adaptive learning rate provided by the RMS Pro makes the ADAM optimizer a powerful method. It is used for this deep learning method. It has also introduced the new hyperparameter beta and beta 1 and beta 2, which are usually kept around 0.9 and 0.99, but you can change them according to your use case. Applications of deep learning. Application is first one is the self-driving cars, new aggregations and fraud news reductions, natural language processing, virtual assistance, entertainment and visual recognition, fraud detection and healthcare, personalizations and reduction development delay in children. So these are the main, that is the applications of deep learning, self-driving cars. So the Uber artificial intelligence labs or Pittsburgh is not only working the driverless cars, humdrum it is, but also integrating the several smart features such as the food delivery options with use of the driverless cars. New aggregations of fraud news reductions is so filter out all the bad and ugly news from the news feeds. Extensive use of the deep learning is the new aggregations is bolstering efforts to customize the new as per the leader. So natural language processing, it is the language with the syntax, semantics, and that is the expressions, events, sarcasms, and the hardest takes the humor to learn. Virtual assistants, the most popular deep learning, it is the virtual assistant, it like Alexa and Siri. Entertainment, Vivo, Netflix, and filmmaking spots highlights. Wimbledon 2018 is using the IBM Watson to analyze the player emotions and expressions through the hundreds of hours of footage to auto-generate the highlights for telecast. This saved them a ton of effort and the cost. So this is the based on that deep learning method. Visual recognition. Imagine yourself going through the length of old image, taking you down the nostalgia lane. You decide to get a few of them framed, but first you would like to sort them out. Another one, fraud detection. The fraud detection transaction, it is based on the digital transaction problems and KESA, that the TensorFlow are being developed to detect the credit card frauds and saving the billions of dollars for the cost recovery. Then healthcare, according to the NVIDIA, from the medical imaging to analyze the genomes to discovering the new drug, entire healthcare industry is in state of transformation, and GPU computing is at the heart. Insurance for the financial institutions and personalizations, the deep learning empowering efforts to use for the e-commerce giants like Amazon's, eBay, and Abia, and detecting the development delay in children, speech disorders, autism, and development disorders can delay the good quality of life for the children. It diagnose and to give the treatment to the wonderful effect of the physical and mental emotional health of differently abled children. One of the noblest applications is deep learning is the early reduction and course correlation of this correction of the problem association with the infants and the children. So these are the main points. The deep learning method, it is replicate the working of the human brain. Feed forward neural network or artificial neural network where the connections between the units it's not formed. The process of minimizing and any mathematical expression to be used for the optimization work. Gradient descent and adaptive gradient are used to the ADAM. And application of deep learning such as the self-driving car, photo descriptions, and image language translations, and automatic machine translations and fraud detection. These are the main concept it is present in the deep learning methods.